Hi, welcome to Kinship. If you are new here, welcome. We are so happy to have you. And if you are returning, we are so happy to have you back. My name is Jessica Amos. I'm a mindfulness teacher and coach, and I'm the founder of Stay With Yourself, which is the practice of being who you are, where you are, learning to honor ourselves in each moment. Yes, and that's exactly what we're here to do as a community. So, welcome. So happy you're here. Today, I want to talk to you a little bit about the neuroscience behind creating practical changes around our behaviors and our reactions in life. I'll be honest, I have tried giving this talk multiple times and I talk about it for so long because it's such an exciting topic for me that I'm trying here once again to not talk on for too long and to just really give you something practical to take away and to share in your group today. So, the reason this topic is really important to me is because as like a deeply spiritual person who craves to just be alive to life and the unfolding unknown, I also am very, very practical and I love knowing how the brain works and the neuroscience of the brain. And so much of the chemistry of what it takes to create new neurological pathways in the mind. So many of us, all of us, are born into a world where we're just like conditioned into family systems, social systems and structures, school systems and structures, work systems and structures. We are just being conditioned from the moment that we're born into certain ways of being. And then we take our personality types and who it is we are, and we build all these different survival modes and mechanisms around our behaviors, our beliefs, our mindsets. We take on beliefs and behaviors and language of the people and the caretakers around us that we grew up in, of our societies, of our cultures. And then we have like our particular way that we organize that within ourselves and the survival mechanisms that naturally come up for each of us. And we're all just a little different. We're all a little different in how we form around how to survive in life, especially starting from an early age and now moving into adulthood and realizing that some of the behaviors and the defense mechanisms and the ways that we've protected ourselves and kept ourselves safe and the ways that we've survived in life are not working for us. They're not working for us in our relationships. They're not working for us in terms of who we actually are on the inside. And I know that that's the space that I came to in my life as I was about halfway through some of this work about 10 years ago, maybe longer. Um, I realized that the way that I was showing up in my life, the ways that I was showing up, the ways that I was talking to the people I love, the ways that I was talking to myself, the ways that I was behaving really weren't in alignment. They didn't feel good. And they would activate my shame, they would activate my guilt, they would activate my judgment. And it was just becoming this spiral of just feeling bad all the time. Ugh, just talking about it, it's like, maybe some of you relate just that feeling of like, I don't like how I'm showing up. I don't like how I'm being. And so I started on this journey of change. I got to change. I have to change. And how do you change? You literally change first through awareness. You start by recognizing that something needs to change. You don't like the behaviors, you set the intention. And our brains are so, so malleable. So whatever you tell yourself, your brain believes. And it took all this time to condition you into these survival modes and into these beliefs and into these thought patterns that we now have to recondition ourselves out of it. This took hundreds, if not thousands of hours to condition you in this way over here. So now we are going to have to spend more time. It's not sexy, you guys. It's not like, ooh, so fun, right? This is very practical stuff. We're just reconditioning ourselves every day into new behaviors that's in alignment with what feels good. And that's like truly honoring to us. And that's the way the brain works, is reconditioning new patterns, new patterns, new patterns. New patterns are created through visualization. New patterns are created through active change, actively changing a behavior, which I like to call acting as if, or fake it till you make it, which some people promote, some people don't. But I'm a huge fan of the visualization, acting as if, or faking it till you make it. And then also acknowledging our progress in this process and bringing in layers of compassion. And all of these things together, these three things together, start to recondition your mind and create new neurological pathways in the mind that create behaviors and attitudes and feelings that are in alignment with who you truly are now, and that aren't in service to the conditioned survival responses that maybe you've been living out to this point. So a good example for me is, say that back when I was married, I would get really frustrated with my husband at the time. And I would lash out, or I'd get angry, I'd have reactions, or I'd use a tone of voice that really didn't feel good. It made me feel really yucky inside. And the way that I moved through these three things is I would sit and I would visualize how that situation played out after the fact. And then I would create a new visualization in my mind. Some people are really good at visualizing things. Some people are better with writing it out or journaling out a new scenario or drawing a picture of it. So whatever works for you, but I would sit and I would visualize, okay, how do I want to respond next time? How do I want that to go differently? And I would literally visualize it over and over and over until I would start to notice myself, like, how do I want to behave? What do I want to say? What do I want my body language to be? How do I want to react when this happens? And I start to play it out, and I start to see myself behaving as the person that I know that I am inside. And this is super, super powerful because the brain doesn't know the difference between reality and perceived reality. So whatever you feed it, it believes is true. So you start feeding a reality of yourself, responding and acting in a certain way that is in alignment with who you truly are, that feels good, right? And then we're getting down to boots on the ground, action level change. And this is where, once we're constantly given opportunities to practice. So the scenario is going to come up again. I'm going to be annoyed with my husband. I'm going to want to react. The thing is going to want to happen. But I've done the visualization, right? And maybe I don't get it perfectly the first time, but I'm continuing to do my visualizations, and I'm continuing to practice showing up differently every time an opportunity presents itself to show up differently. And that is where there's a lot of tension. A lot of times I'll feel myself wanting to react, to say the thing, to do the old conditioned behavior, but I don't want to. So now I have to hold the tension between holding it in, not doing this reaction, and then bringing a new action forth. So this needs to get grounded out. And not, the more attention that you give the negative response, a negative action, it grows, right? So we have to hold the tension between not acting out of that and then bringing in something new. And over time, this will begin to become more the norm, and this will go away on its own, right? Okay. And then secondly, we are giving ourselves lots of compassion and lots of grace for the fact that this is messy. And this isn't always going to go perfect. Maybe you've done the visualizations, but you just got triggered super hard. You fell back into an old pattern, but maybe in another small way, you starting to make changes differently. So the way that we reroute neurological pathways in the brain, the way that we create new beliefs and new understanding and new behaviors, is feeding our brain new images, acting in different ways. And that's where the act as if, or faking it till you make it, act as if you are loving, act as if you are kind, act as if you have good boundaries, fake it till you make it. Start to bring actions and behaviors in that are representative of how you want to be in life. And pretty soon your feelings will follow. Mel Robbins talks about this. Feelings follow actions. So act as if, and then pat yourself on the back. Be compassionate with yourself. Understand that this is a process. It's not just going to happen overnight. And it took all this time to condition you this way. It's going to take time to recondition you into a new way. Okay. I hope you found that helpful. I still talked for a long time, but go talk about this in your group. What landed for you? What's resonating for you of those three steps between visualization, action, and compassion? What do you really want to bring in? And what are you wanting to condition yourself out of? And what do you want to condition yourself into? Okay. And thank you to our facilitator for holding this session for us. We're so grateful for you. Until next time, may you stay with yourself today and always.